Alright, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat mga kababayan. Batang Maynila to. It's diretso na tayo. Naka-live po si Sara Duterte at siya po ay humarap sa media. Diretso, pakinggan na natin yung kanyang sasabihin bago natin gawan ng reaksyon. Alright?
So, kailangan ko pa kasi isulat yung mga sagot bago ko siya masabi sa inyo. So, hindi ko kaya magsulat ng sobrang dami sa isang gabi. So, kahapon, nasagot natin yung NSC. And then, of course, may response ang NSC. Mamaya na lang natin bigyan ng kahapon, nasagot natin ng NNC, may response sila. So, mamaya lang natin bigyan ng reply yung sa kanila. Sundin na muna natin yung statement ni ES and yung statement ng PSC. Okay. And then, of course, you want to know updates about the two patients upstairs. So, unahin na muna natin yung mga pasyente. Si Attorney Lopez, extended yung detention niya, no? So, meron siyang meetings today with all the lawyers. Nandiyan na rin yung kanyang mother who will join the meetings with the lawyers. So, antay na lang natin kung ano yung galawan ng mga abogado ni Attorney Zulaika Lopez. Health-wise, walang iyak today, kanina, walang iyak. Kausap niya yung mama niya, and dumating din yung best friend niya mula sa Davao City. So, nandyan sa taas. And kagabi naman, medyo late natulog. And ang pagkakaalam ko, ang endorsement sa akin kagabi, hindi daw masyado kumakain. So, meron silang request na i-encourage siya na kumain. Okay? And then next is Miss Gina Acosta. As you saw during the hearing yesterday, tumaas yung blood pressure niya, 150/100. And nawalan siya ng consciousness. Tapos, pagdating niya daw dito sa ER, she was unresponsive. Yung parang ginaganon dito ba, hindi ko alam kung ano yun. Ginaganon dito, she was unresponsive. Pero na-okay naman siya then after. But merong mga nakita ang mga doctor na follow-up check. Kaya inadmit siya today. And then I visited her this morning. Nagpaalam din ako sa kanya. Ano pa siya, day 1 pa siya sa trauma niya. So, hindi pa masyadong maayos kausap. Tsaka medyo parang pagod. Yes, parang pagod siya. So, bigyan lang muna natin siya ng time na makausap yung mga doctors niya. And then, tanong natin sa mga doctors kung ano yung pwede sabihin. Tsaka sa patient kung ano yung pwede. Kagabi, nag-CT scan siya. Kasi they wanted to rule out a stroke. So, hindi ko rin alam kung anong results. Hindi ko nakita. Hindi din nasabi sa akin. So, tanong lang natin sa patient kung anong part ng medical, information niya ang pwede niyang, gusto niyang i-share. Kasi pinagalitan ako ni Nicole kagabi dahil binanggit ko daw yung panic and asthma attack niya na medyo na-traumatize yung family sa Davao. Yes. Okay. Ang sabi niya, na daw siya, she'll take legal steps. Yun yung sabi niya sa akin. And then sinabihan ko siya na, well, hindi na ako sasali sa discussion dyan. Kausapin mo na lang yung mga lawyers mo. Anyway, nag-hire ka man ng lawyers mo. So, ngayon, isa-isa darating yun. Mag-usap sila. Tsaka nandyan din yung mother. Yun din yung sinasabi ng nanay niya because yung nanay niya is used to work for the courts in Davao City. So, merong alam sa batas. In court cases, yung mother ni Yusek Lopez. So, yun din ang sabi ng mama niya. We want to take this to the courts. I do not know with Miss Gina Acosta kasi hindi pa nga siya medyo makapag-isip ng maayos. Pero nasabi sa akin kanina na nag-video call na daw with family. Kasi yung next of kin niya nasa Davao din and some of the relatives nasa United States. Okay?
Okay, next agenda sa PSC. The PSC has doubled the security for the president was taken for the first time.
Okay, sige. Unahin ko muna yung... Nauna kasi yung statement ni ES eh. Tapos lumabas yung sa PSC, no? So, unahin ko muna yung kay ES. Meron naman na kayong copy nung kay ES. Ito na lang yung sagot. Nirelease na namin ang written nito. Basahin ko lang. Tapos, yung NBI, I'm sure you want to ask about the NBI. Since hindi ko pa nababasa kung ano yung isi-serve nila sa akin, we will talk about NBI tomorrow. Pag-anuhin nyo lang muna ako kasi kailangan ko din isulat kung ano yung isasagot. So, give me time to read and think about it. Okay, so ito yung sa kay ES, no? This is a reply to the statement issued by the Presidential Communications Office on the order of Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin dated November 23, 2024. The Marcos administration's insistence that the President's life is under active threat is ominous. I raise this caution as the President and his sycophants aggressively sell a narrative based entirely on my statement, which is taken out of its logical context. Bakit hindi nila pinapalabas kung ano yung question ng media? Bakit hindi nila pinapalabas kung ano yung una kong sagot? Bakit ang pinapalabas na lang nila is the last, 4 words of my entire statement? They are building a narrative and I'll tell you kung anong playbook ito. There is absolutely no flesh on the bone, and despite the absence of a reliable investigation, authorities were quick to consider this a national security concern. The diametric contrast and inaction are displayed when I have expressed in previous months threats to my person and the continuing threats to the lives of OVP personnel. Tossing the word assassin. Pakicheck. May sinabi ba akong assassin doon? Wala. So nilalagay nila doon sa narrative nila, assassin. And nilalagay nila sa narrative nila, murder plot. Into this issue, tossing the word assassin into this issue makes things even more terrifying for our country. And especially because I never used that term during my recent consternation against the Marcos administration's failure to serve the Filipinos while it masterfully persecutes political enemies. Common sense should be enough for us to understand and accept that the supposed conditional act of revenge does not constitute to an active threat. This is a plan without a flesh. Pag pinipilit mo siya na active threat siya, isipin ninyo ang buong mundo na nanonood. Ganito ba ang kapasidad ng mga Pilipino na mag-isip? Diba? At wala silang pakialam dyan. Pero ako, nahihiya ako na ganito ang kapasidad ng mga tao sa administrasyon. I am confident that an honest scrutiny would easily expose this narrative to be a farce, imagined, or nothing at all. So, may question kayo doon.
You said you were taken out of context, and you also mentioned that they have a playbook.
Yes.
They're going by.
Yes.
So, can you explain to us that context, set it straight,
Yes.
and also explain to us that playbook that you're taking?
Okay, sige. So the context is, what did I say? I was asked, do you know about the Roman? I'm sorry I was asking for the transcription of all that I said. I did not get it before I came down, so I have a problem remembering the exact words. Yes. So there was a question about Romanov, and I said, well, this is the first time that I've heard of that, but I've been warned by 2 persons already. 2. Be careful. I forget now what the words were said, but I will review my notes and I will tell you what that one person said and how he said to be careful, and that one other person, what that other person said. So, tatlo na yon. One person warned me, another person warned me, and then I was asked during a press briefing by a media person if I know of these plans, if you can say the word, if that is the correct word to use here, plans. So I answered. I was asked Romanov, and then I answered. I was told by 2 people, this is the first time I've heard of Romanov, so that is the 3rd already. And I said, don't worry about my security. If they kill me, if I die, kapag pinatay ako, or kapag namatay ako, in the context of don't worry about my security. So this means pinatay ka. Diba? Kasi hindi ka naman mamamatay by heart attack in relation to your security. Diba? So, pag namatay ako, I already asked a person to take revenge against 2-3 individuals. So, my question now to the administration, is revenge from the grave a crime?
But you already talked to a person.
Yes.
Do that.
Yes.
In the event you get killed.
Yes. Yes.
That much is clear.
Yes. So I have to die first. They have to kill me first. They have to kill me first. So now they can't kill me anymore. Unless they want to die.
And in the playbook,
Yes, the playbook. The playbook. Remember, they are known for political persecution. They suppress and oppress opposition. And then somebody was assassinated on the airport tarmac. Diba? They oppress and suppress, and the people were getting angry, frustrated, and what did they do? They created a scenario that there is a national emergency. They set bombs to create a scenario that there is a national emergency, and then they assassinated their political enemy. So that's the playbook. We already saw that in history. So that is my proof. Yes. Ang hindi lang po nagawa ni Benigno Aquino Jr., kaya po hindi siya ano ba tawag yan? Revenge. Ano revenge? Nakaganti. Hindi siya nakaganti. Kasi hindi siya nagbilin. Diba? Kaya, hindi nakaganti si Benigno Aquino Jr. kasi hindi siya nagbilin. But you know, Benigno Aquino Jr. is not Sara Duterte. So, ibang tao din siya. Ibang tao din ako.
Vice, right now, sabi ng Department of Justice, improving na yung kanilang ginagawa na investigation.
Okay.
So,
Sir,
based dun sa naging statement.
I have to cut that, sir, because I have to read the subpoena. I've not read it, so I need to write an answer.
So, you've not read the subpoena, but just to confirm, you are gonna, when the subpoena
I cannot answer that because I've not read what the content of the subpoena is. So I do not know. So we'll stop about the subpoena. No, let's stop talking about DOJ and subpoena, and let's allow me to read through it and then think and then write an answer and then we'll talk.
Let's go back to the threat. Sabi ni Badoy, sabi ni Badoy po, meron daw kayong assassination attempt. There's assassination attempt against you before your birthday. Can you clarify this? Had there been really assassination attempt before your birthday?
I have not talked to Lorraine Badoy, no? So let me just talk to her and ask her, no, kung ano yung information niya. But we are actually preparing right now a list of proof that they are, ano ba ito? The whole of government is going after one person, and that's me. But kung gusto nyo, basahin ko yung PSC, mas ano yun, mas merong, I discussed one threat. So, you wanna do that? You wanna do PSC? Okay, let's do PSC. But maraming salamat sa pagbabantay ninyo kay Yusek Lopez and kay Gina Acosta. And pakiusap ko lang na bantayan ninyo siya kahit mag-shifting lang kayo, maiwan lang. Isa, just to make sure na, kasi may takot din yung nasa taas na, actually ang takot ni Yusek Lopez lagi sa gabi. Oo, kasi tulog lahat ng tao, nagpapahinga lahat ng tao. Walang makakapalag. So maraming salamat. Okay, PSC tayo. This is in response to the statement of the Presidential Security Command dated 25 November 2024. The Vice President Security and Protection Group was created and became an armed forces of the Philippines-wide support and separate unit by virtue of the Department of National Defense Order signed by former Secretary Delphine Lorenzana dated June 20, 2022 with a corresponding AFP table of personnel and equipment. This was a move to distinguish the security of the Vice President and make it independent. After I resigned from DepEd, nakita nyo na yung pattern. After I resigned from DepEd, the unit was unceremoniously assigned as a unit under the Presidential Security Command. July 9, 2024, ang order ng DND. Therefore, the security of the Vice President is now under the control of the PSC and as a consequence is influenced by the decisions of the Office of the President. Presuming that the PSC is still a non-partisan professional organization, why is the command eerily quiet on the documented threats to me, my family, and the OVP personnel? The silence. Ito, natural assumption ito natin lahat. The silence is proof that the inclusion of the VP SPG in the PSC is clearly to undermine my security and nothing else. So that's one threat. Bigyan ko kayo ng listahan ng madami with proof. Ito, with proof. There's a DND order.
Separating your security.
Yes, no. Tucking my security under PSC, which is influenced
Yes, sir.
by the decisions of the Office of the President. So ano yan? Lahat ng galaw ko, lahat ng ginagawa ko, kung saan ako, alam niya, alam nila. So anong gagawin nila? Anong value ng information sa kanila after ako mag-resign sa DepEd? Before, when I was with DepEd and working to help the administration, wala namang ganun eh. Diba? Tapos pag mag-resign ka, ganito ang gagawin sa security mo, imo-monitor ka. O, that's one threat. So, I'm coming up with a list of threats, pero we'll take that up baka next week na. Kasi, tao lang po. Di kaya magsulat ng kayo, mga gagaling kayo, mabilis kayo magsulat. Ako, kailangan ko...
Are you afraid, are you saying that there's a threat for you to get killed by the African administration?
Well, that is a possibility. You see what they're doing right now? That is an example. They are undermining my security. That is just from the PSC. Hindi ko pa dinidiscuss ang galing sa PNP. Diba?
Ano yung intend to fire?
Yung nagsabi sa iyo ng dalawang tao, anong klaseng threat naman yung sinabi sa iyo?
Hindi ko, mahirap kasi mag-browse ngayon. Hindi ko maalala yung words na ginamit. Oo.
Ma'am, with this,
I don't trust my memory.
Pero in what manner ba? Assassination plot ba yan? Paano ba yan?
Hindi, iba yung words na no assassination plot. But the general message is threat to life. Yes.
ingat natin sir, something like that.
Oo, wag nyo lang muna i-quote ha, kasi hindi ko maalala. I don't trust my memory right now, so I need to review the notes so that I give you a verbatim record of what was said by the two individuals.
Ma'am, with this, do you also intend to double your security also like the PSC, like that they're doing now to the first cabinet of the president?
Hindi ko na ini-expect yan, ma'am, sa PSC. And hindi ko rin tatanggapin, ma'am, at this point, kung magdadagdag sila ng mga tao dito. Kasi hindi na natin alam kung non-partisan ba yung
Well, not necessarily
idadagdag nila.
Not necessarily coming from the PSC.
No, I don't trust anyone right now. So yes. Even if PSC acts on what I said, no, I will not accept it anymore. That is what I did with PNP. Hindi na. Kasi hindi na natin alam eh. Baka igagawin pa yan nilang rason na maglagay ng mga tao dyan na nagtatrabaho para sa kanila. So,
Okay, last two questions. Do you share the same sentiments as your father, former president? Last night,
what
he
are
said,
his sentiments?
So last night, he asked the military if they would continue to support fractured governance and a leader who is a drug addict.
I agree. So, sandali. I agree with fractured governance. I was a member of cabinet. So, I have personal knowledge. I agree with fractured governance. I agree with the assumption that he is a drug addict because he continuously refuses to do a drug test. Napakadali naman, di ba? Tulad ko, napakadali naman. Sinabi ko kaagad, gusto niyo ng neuropsychiatric test o kung ano ba man yung test na gusto niyo i-take ko. Gusto niyo ulit ko yung bar exams. Lahat yan gagawin ko. No questions asked. Gusto niyo ng drug test? Sabi ko, dagdagan ko pa ng drug test. Napakadali gawin sa akin yan. Ngayon kaagad na araw na ito, gawin natin yan. Pero, lahat, sabi ko nga, sisimulan namin sa Office of the Vice President ang drug test, kaming lahat. Diba? So, dapat, kayong lahat sa gobyerno, mag-drug test na yung lahat. Lahat ng mga congressman ninyo, drug test nyo.
What about the question for the military?
No, I do not agree with that. So, as I said, i-qualify nyo yung answer ko. I agree with the fractured government. I have personal knowledge. I was a member of cabinet. I agree with the assumption that he is a drug addict. I think mine is assumption. I think the former president has evidence that he really is a drug addict. So, pare-pareho lang din yun.
Ma'am, are you a threat? Sorry.
Sabi ko nga, diba, noong kailan ba yon nagsalita ako, sabi ko, dalawa lang naman hinihingi natin. Diba? As politician, ibigay natin yung pangako natin sa mga tao. Diba? Ako, bumoto ako. Kasi sinabi 20 pesos ang per kilo ng bigas. And that would help so many families right now. Diba?
Okay.
Pangalawa, tingnan natin ang katinuan ng...
Okay, so medyo hinto na natin kasi yung sinasabi niya ngayon, yung pa rin yung sinabi niya dati. So, uulit lang tayo. Ang importante narinig natin, yung tungkol sa kanyang security. So, ayaw na niyang dagdagan yung kanyang security at kasi nga, wala siyang tiwala dito sa Marcos administration. Ibig sabihin, ayaw niya na magdagdag. Kasi si Presidente Marcos, mga kababayan, nagdagdag po ng security. Dinoble po ang security ni Presidente Marcos dahil po dun sa threat na binitawan ni Sara Duterte. Pero si Sara Duterte, yung security niya hindi naman binabawasan ng Marcos administration. So wala pong galaw. Ang nangyari po sa security ni Sara Duterte, medyo nagreklamo lang siya kasi nga parang minomonitor daw siya. Sabi ni Sara Duterte. And yan, maliwanag naman, napakaliwanag naman ng ating narinig tungkol sa mga kanyang pinagsasabi. Bahala na po kayong basta, eto ngayon mga kababayan, eto breaking news ngayon lang mga kababayan, ay ibinigay na po ng NBI Special Task Force na ibigay na po ang subpoena kay Vice President Sara Duterte para siya po ay imbestigahan sa alleged threat against President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Ayan mga kababayan. At ang subpoena ay tinanggap ng kanyang office staff dyan po sa Mandaluyong. Alright, so ito yung litrato mga kababayan. Ito, yan. Yan po yung subpoena para kay Sara Duterte na bit-bit po ng NBI. Ayan mga kababayan, National Bureau of Investigation, nagpunta na po sa opisina nila dyan sa Mandaluyong at dinala na po ang subpoena. Ano nakasulat sa subpoena? Siya po ay nire-request na humarap sa NBI headquarters sa Biyernes. Yan mga kababayan, sa Biyernes, anong date yun? Basta itong darating na Biyernes ay yun po ang araw na kung saan siya pinaharap po dyan sa National Bureau of Investigation Headquarters. Siya po ay imbestigahan for grave threats and possible violation of the Anti-Terrorism Act. Yan po ang nakasulat po dyan sa subpoena. Investigasyon para po sa grave threats at possible violation of the Anti-Terrorism Act. Okay, at karagdagan na rin ito pong NBI ay nag-request na po sa Facebook na ma-preserve po yung video ni VP Sara Duterte at sapagkat ito po ay gagamitin bilang ebidensya laban sa Vice Presidente. Kung hindi po mawawala yung video na yun kahit i-delete, hindi po yun madidelete at yan po ay pe-preserve ng Facebook at gagamitin po ng gobyernong ng NBI o ng gobyerno laban kay Sara Duterte. Okay? So yan mga kababayan, yung subpoena dapat pala kahapon pa pero hindi na ibigay. Nung dumating po NBI dyan sa Batasan, kaso umalis na raw si Sara Duterte, nagpunta na sa Veterans Hospital, ay hindi na po na-receive yung subpoena. Okay, so yun po yung latest natin mga kababayan. Si Presidente Bongbong Marcos nagdagdag po ng security, dinoble ang security. Si Sara Duterte naman okay na sa kanyang security at wala siyang tiwala kung may dadagdag pa kasi sinabi nga niya ay merong threat sa kanyang buhay. So, nangyayari, okay, iba-iba na yung kwento mga kababayan, ang dami ng kwento. So, siguro pinakamaganda sa korte na sila magharap. At ito namang NBI ay naibigay na po sa subpoena kay Sara Duterte para magpaliwanag. Sa Biyernes po, siya pinaharap niya sa headquarters ng NBI. Bakit po? Siya ay imbestigahan sa grave threats at posibleng violation of Anti-Terrorism Act. Okay, yan mga kababayan. At ano reaksyon nyo doon sa mga sinabi ni Sara Duterte? Pakilagay na lang po ang inyong mga komento dito po sa ilalim ng ating screen. At kung nagustuhan nyo po itong ating video, baka pwede naman pong palike and share. At salamat syempre sa lahat pong sumusubaybay sa Batang Maynila Toys. Basta tutok-tutok lang po kayo dito sa ating YouTube channel sa iba pang updates para kayo updated mga kababayan. Sa mga hindi pa po nakasubscribe, pindutin nyo lang po yung subscribe button para po pati yung bell mga kababayan para maging updated po kayo every time na meron tayong upload at every time na magla-live po tayo dito po sa Batang Maynila Toys. Alright? Thank you po. God bless.